Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing today? Sound up in the chat, guys. Appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way in. Let's jump right into the charts. Hey, what's going on, guys? Bitcoin currently trading at $90,762.16. Let's refresh our liquidation heat map and see where we're at. 12-hour, get a little zoom action. Looking a lot more healthy now that we're out of the weekend, technically, in Asia. 91,416. 91,416. And the tippy top of that, we'll go all the way up to 92,09 or 92,906. Almost had dyslexia there, just for a brief moment. And then we've got 90,185. And then the very bottom, the bippity boopity bottom, we've got 88,760. Very cool. Okay, I will say this lower, very bottom one has been at that same spot, that 88K level, for this whole time. These levels are probably really similar to what we've had this entire weekend, so no surprise there. Bitcoin dominance 59.09. It does look like it's bouncing off of 59. Hopefully we get a break below that, but we'll keep an eye on it. It does look like a nice strong bounce. That RSI is about to cross bullish over that moving average, and our momentum wave on market cipher has plenty of room to go up. Bitcoin is up 0.34% on the day, 90,811. Can we liquidate some bears to the upside and get 91,416? Or I'm estimating right now that unfortunately we are going to have a very, very sideways week with the tariff ruling coming on Wednesday. And then I believe there's something else happening with the Clarity Act or something like that this week as well. Crypto Space said I'm the only one here for now. That seems to be the case, yes. So Bitcoin is chilling, 0.34% in the green, 90,812. Very sideways, very choppy. Volume slowly trickling back in on this lovely Sunday evening. That is volume from the Asian markets, I would assume. Unfortunately, this is, in my opinion, a side effect of ETFs. With ETFs kind of taking over the space and retail liquidity all but gone, most of the liquidity, most of the volume is coming from institutional adoption, and that only happens during the week. So on the weekends we're stuck with no trades to make, and it gets a little bit boring. That's why people like meme coins. ETH up 0.9% on the day, currently trading at $3,114.44. We got a nice red candle with a wick, indicative of some buy pressure. There's also previously green candle with a wick, indicative of some selling pressure. So we're unsure if this is going to become maybe a little double top for some downtrend, or maybe it does this. Maybe it does that again. That'd be kind of cool on a larger scale. It'd be pretty sick. We'll see how it plays out, though. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI last night. Nice support bounce. So we got our cross, support, continuation. And it does look like it's crawling down just based on the current candle. We'll see what happens when it closes, though. Other than that, our momentum wave looks good. See, when we get a cloud on the lower half of the momentum wave and it's just riddled with dots, we usually get a reversal. Solana's up 2.37% on the day. A lot of rumors going out about Solana. We got kind of an Adam Eve going on here as well. So apparently, I don't know if you guys saw, X is doing the new cash tag thing where they're going to have smart cash tags. So if you do like $BTC, you'll be able to click on it on somebody else's post and see the actual price of Bitcoin. And apparently the idea is to, in the future, allow people to buy and sell assets on X, which we knew that. That was announced a couple years ago. But this is the first progress we've seen of them announcing and talking about that. X's head of product, I forget the kid's name, something Beer, B-I-E-R, X head of product. His name is Nikita Beer, B-I-E-R. He posted right here. X is the best source for financial news, and hundreds of billions of dollars are deployed based on things people read here. We are building smart cash tags that allow you to specify the asset or smart contract when posting a ticker. From the timeline, users will be able to tap them and see real-time price along with all mentions of that asset. We're aiming to collect feedback as we iterate toward a public release next month. So that's pretty cool. Nikita Beer, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, is also apparently advisor for Solana Venture, or advisor for Solana, which is huge. So I'm assuming that's why Solana's pumping right now. He also, in that picture, he posted Berkshire Hathaway, Bitcoin, Bonk, and Base. Bonk is kind of a two birds, one stone thing. He kind of iterated that Solana is going to be integrated while also promoting a meme coin. So, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I'm kind of excited. And I think that's why Solana's doing good today. Up 2.27%. We are above our upper trend line, which is great. We got our third attempt to break above. Hold above it and continuing would be ideal. We do have a sell pressure wick and a buy pressure wick, which is also present on the lower time frames on some of these coins as well. If you guys see me looking down, my laptop is there and I have a trade open. So that's why. Even if I don't have a trade open, I usually keep an eye on it to see if I want to open a trade, because I am a degenerate gambler and I can't help myself. So Solana looks awesome. Volume really spiking on this news. And we got that bullish cross over the moving average on the RSI. Green dotted the momentum wave, pointed to the upside, and money flow has been pretty consistently positive since December 30th. So number go up. Total 3 is up 0.05% on the day. And it's up 0.07% on the day, currently trading at 877.41. Having trouble getting above 883 again. Are we going to come down and retest our yellow trend line right here around 860? Or are we simply waiting for the right time to break above 883? I am curious as to whether or not we are going to see any volume or any excitement in the market before Wednesday because of the tariff ruling. Unfortunately, that getting pushed back kind of pushed back the concept or the possibility of any fun in the market until then. So it's kind of a wait and see right now. We did get a rejection of 910, broke back below 883, and now we're wondering if we're going to revisit 860, 870 level. ADA is up 0.00%, completely flatlined for the day, currently trading at 38.85. What a surprise. We do have selling pressure wicks and a buying pressure wick. CryptoSpaces said Solana has really captured so much market share. They've captured all of the market share. That's where retail presides. Solana is the retail chain. Anyone that says otherwise is lying to themselves. That's all that the metrics say. And we talked about this in length last year. My favorite thing, even a top guy at X is exactly, my favorite thing to talk about with Solana is their revenue. So Ethereum's revenue, I'm just going to throw numbers out there. I'm going to make everything up. Let's say ETH gas is $1. And ETH makes 1 billion or 1 million a month in fees. So they have like 1 million transactions happening. Sol gas is like 0.001 penny. And Sol makes 1 million a month. Or actually, I think they make more. Let's just do like 1.5 because I'm almost positive that Solana is bringing in more revenue than Ethereum. This is 1 million transactions for ETH. Wow, that's a horrible circle. So there's like 1 million transactions just in this example. How many transactions is that for Solana? 1.5. Let me see if I can even figure that out. 1,500,000 divided by 0.001 as a full number. It is, what is it, 1.5 billion? Hold on. It is 1.5 billion transactions. So that's one of my favorite metrics because everyone's like, oh, ETH fees and ETH makes money and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Solana has so many more like users or at least transactions because their gas is so cheap but they're actually bringing in more money than Ethereum. What does that tell you? That tells you that there's so many more people using Solana than Ethereum. Like, Ethereum doesn't need that many transactions to make a good amount of money, so it looks good on paper, but in reality, there's not that many people using it. Whereas Solana, because their transactions are so ridiculously, insanely cheap, and they're making more money than ETH, that right there alone is the only metric you need to know that Solana has so many more users than Ethereum ever had. It blows my mind. ADA, flatlining, like we talked about. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this is going to be a little curl over before continuation, which we've seen before, you know. I don't know, not recently because we've been in a downtrend, but hopefully we just put in a higher low and continue to the upside, just like with everything else. Snag is up 1.75% on the day. We got kind of a textbook inverse head and shoulder here, maybe on a lower time frame. I'm really bad at drawing today. What's happening? So are we going to definitively break above this upper trend line and continue to the upside? We got a retest of 1, held it as support. We got a pretty big selling wick here, which we had back here as well, and back here. Back here, at least we broke above, and then we got back inside. So we'll see what happens. As of right now, I'm optimistic, but I got to see some more progress here. We do have a bullish crossover the moving average and the RSI, continuing to the upside. And our momentum wave had a green dot point to the upside as well, which just recently crossed bullish. Midnight is up 0.65% on the day. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is going to continue to the downside. We got bounce, fail, break, bounce, fail. Is it going to break? That's the next question. Tyler said doubt it, doubt it. Crypto Spaces said crazy. Yep, I read that already. So, midnight is sitting below 75, probably heading towards 64. And worst case scenario, if we lose 64, look for a reaction around 60 for the sake of a psychological number. Volume could be better, but this is just specific to OKX. We're about to potentially get either a retest confirmation support of that moving average on the RSI or a break in continuation to the downside. We have a red dot on the momentum wave also pointing to the downside, and money flow has been negative since January 5th. XRP currently down 0.9% on the day, trading at $2.07. Are we going to hold $2? It looks like it's trying to. So, doing a little flatline thing here as well, but there seems to be a little more weakness. I don't know if there's just whales selling. It's a pretty big fat candle compared to what we previously had. Volume could be a lot better. Volume could be way better. This is crazy. This volume. And we are seemingly rejecting the moving average on the RSI. Red dot on the momentum wave also pointing to the downside. Yeah, let's see if we end up holding $2 or if we break below it. Obviously, we got a ways to go, but it is chipping away at $2.06 right now. And this is kind of our little safe zone because of all of this tight liquidity. H-bar, down 0.63% on the day, currently trading at 11,714. We'll see if we end up holding 11.5 or breaking below that. Having trouble getting above the moving average in the RSI and here as well. We got the cloud on the lower half of market cipher with a lot of dots. So there's a potential reversal signal there. We'll see what comes of it. SWE is down 0.42% on the day, currently trading at 178.73. We rejected $2. We kind of rejected $1.98. Got back below $1.90. Having trouble getting above 185. We seemingly found support at 180, but we're sitting below that right now at 178. Are we going to try and test that support at 169? We broke above that back here and never retested it. So we could try to sell that as a retest and then continuation to the upside. See what happens though. RSI struggling to get above the moving average. And we got a red dot and momentum wave pointed to the downside. We have had positive money flow since January 1st, so we're in a good spot. Ondo, not much to talk about. We're breaking that. Actually, that was a strong support at 40. We're breaking below it right now. We got a wick, which is indicative of some buying pressure. We'll see if it closes like that. That would be a good reversal signal. Keep an eye on it for now. Red dot on the momentum wave pointing to the downside. And bearish crossover the moving average on the RSI. Arrow up 2.74%. Surprising some folks today. The flatline is not present on Aerodrome at all whatsoever. It is trying to chip away and break above 55.83 at the moment. We got a lack of volume, which is slowly coming back. Clearly a lot of buys right here. Bullish crossover the moving average on the RSI. Green dot of the momentum wave pointed to the upside. Money flow did flip negative, but the price is still continuing to the upside. Can we get another test of 60, 61, and get above it? Continue to the upside. That would be awesome. Let's skip some here. Skip. Farcoin cracks me up. It's up 1.27% on the day. Trying to hold 36.26. Can we get back above 40? CAS also struggling. We do have a trend line here though. See if that trend line holds and if we can get back above it. 51.78. Avalanche down 0.29%. Holding above this upper trend line. This is our retest. We got break, resistance, support, break, support, continuation, check, and then continuation. Hopefully we hold that check of that breakout and we continue to the upside. I would love to see above $14. Volume really non-existent. RSI just got a bearish cross over the moving average. We'll see if it closes that way. Red dot of the momentum wave pointed to the downside. And positive money flow since Christmas. Chainlink up 0.46% on the day. Currently trading at 13.19, right below 13.39. We got wicks galore, sell pressure, buy pressure. Both sides duking it out. We got lack of volume. About to get a bearish cross over the moving average on the RSI, unless that turns into a bounce. Red dot on the momentum wave pointed to the downside. Unconfirmed green dot or market cipher. Green dot on the momentum wave before our red dot. This one came in yesterday on Saturday. Volume could be better. Money flow has been positive since Christmas here as well. So we'll see what happens. We got less than 1 minute remaining until the daily close contest. So make sure you guys prepare yourselves. Monad down 1.86% on the day. Currently trading at 0.0238. Let's see. We broke below our secondary neckline, I would call it, at 24.14. Next support area is probably going to be around 21, 22. We'll see what comes of that. And then Pengu's up 1.01%, holding 11,650, looking good. Bitcoin, 1 minute time frame. Zoom in. $90,903.80. Get your guesses ready for the daily close contest, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler said, "Did you get my address?" Yes, I did, Mr. Tyler. I am changing your prize though because you said you hold no crypto except for Pinlink. So I have to do something else because I was going to send you something crypto related. Bitcoin, 90,880, 868 5 cents. 6 seconds remaining until you guys can begin guessing. Get your guesses in for the daily close contest, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, we got 4 individuals with 1 win each, holding first place. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn is our latest entry, followed by Tufik, Saeed, and Giovanni. Very cool. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Happy Sunday, Derek. Cheers, guys. We got the coffee. I don't know if I told you guys this, for Christmas for my beautiful fiance, I got a bougie pour over coffee maker, and it's delicious. It's probably the most bougie coffee maker I'll ever own in my entire life. I don't know, Tyler. That's a good question. You know what's funny is you said that and it didn't send twice. Hillary Clinton is listening. Don't let her hear your thoughts. Derek coming in with 90,845. Derek, have you seen the new Stranger Things? Tyler said you can still send it, man. I'm gonna get back in the game again soon. Okay. Consider it done. You better. Oh my gosh, you got 3 now. They're here, dude. Hillary is in the chat. Derek said I have not. Dang it. Okay. Oh. All right. You on 4 now? You're on 4. Dang. Tyler's on crack right now. Should I time him out? Would that be really funny? If I timed out Tyler because his phone's tweaking. Tyler, clearly you had a little bit of crack in your pocket and it got into your phone charger and your phone's like, Woohoo, man! Oh my God! Let's tell him 3 times. Let's tell him 4 times. We should send it a 5th time to really get the point across. Are you following along with what I'm saying right now? We should send it as many times as we can until he understands that we know what he's talking about. Do you understand me? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm so amped up right now, dude. I am supercharged. You should plug me in. Have you plugged me in? Plug me into the phone port and the car and the house at the same time. Plug me into as many things as you can plug me into. Can you get like a 3-way switch? I want to do a 3-way. Have you ever done a 3-way? Your phone's just tweaking out the entire time. The screen just suddenly like looking at porn. You're like, no, stop it. Dude, that's what's going to happen, man. AI is just going to take over and like make us look like idiots. Everywhere we go. It's going to be good stuff. Oh! Dang. Tyler's abusing his power. All right, guys, Bitcoin currently trading at $90,917.71. We've got 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining on the clock. Tyler's coming in with 90,001 penny. Got you, Tyler. All right. Did you guys, Tyler, are you aware that I have a stand-up desk now? Like I'm all over the place. I'm standing up. I'm jumping. I can walk around. Derek said hashtag no kings. Dude, I just saw a post on X. I don't know if it's real, but apparently the no kings financing got like exposed. And it's like a bunch of big businesses. Wow, I think Warren Buffett was on there. Berkshire Hathaway. Or one of the two. I was like, whoa. Blew my mind. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if maybe my feed is just going super conservative. I have no idea what's happening. But it blew my mind. I was like, damn. Like, imagine that getting exposed. And, like, you're one of those companies. Whew. $90,938.53. Crazy stuff. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Bitcoin flatlining, it seems, or at least it has a heavy resistance at this 90,900. Oh, Tyler's changing 90,901 penny. It's too late, my friend. I do not accept your change. 5 seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for participating. Get these bad boys up on the board. We've got Mr. Derek with 90,845 even. HQZ. And what does HQZ stand for? Mr. Tyler coming in with 90,000.01. Way down there. Actually, it's not that far. Mr. Tyler might take it. He called for 90,901 penny for a change, which is at my discretion. But seeing as Mr. Tyler is the winner of 2025, I don't think so. I quit forever this year. I think you already did that when you sold your bags. Oh! Ooh! Someone's tuning in for the first time. They're like, what the... Alright, Bitcoin currently trading at $90,960.26. Derek HQZ in the lead with a guess of $90,845. We've got 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining on the clock. What are we going to do for the poll, guys? Are we going to get any movement? What do we actually, let's poll based on the tariffs. Do you think the Supreme Court is going to rule for or against tariffs? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Do you think the Supreme Court is going to rule for or against tariffs? You got option A, for tariffs, they're the best, or option B, against tariffs, they're a tax. What's it going to be? I think that they're going to allow them, because Trump's going to figure out how to do it anyways. Dang, Tyler's quitting forever this year multiple times. Believe in the crash. But what's that going to do for you? Because it's just going to crash, and by the time it gets down, you're going to be like, I'm not touching that shit. That's a scam. And then it's going to go whoop right back up, and you're going to have missed out. You're going to buy back in right at the price probably that you sold at. I'm just kidding. Don't buy back in based on what I'm saying right now. Do you think? I'm just trying to troll you. Bitcoin currently trading at $90,938.41. We have 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Derek said, Supreme Court can suck my supremely salty balls. Hell yeah, Derek. Hell yeah. Let me actually look something up really quick. How many men are on the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court, out of 9 total justices, the current lineup, I think they're all dudes. Nope, I lied. Hold on. Let me just look at the picture. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dudes and 4 chicks. So, majority of what you just said, Derek, is gay. Pickle Rick said, what up, my people? What's going on, Pickle Rick? Tyler said, JJ, what's this vote? So all 2 of us have a 50-50 vote. That's good. That's a good one. Technically, there's 3, and all 3 of you guys said they're going to vote in favor of tariffs. So, and Derek's going to have sexual relations with 5 men. We've got less than 1 minute remaining, ladies and gentlemen. 48 seconds remaining on the clock. $90,960.26. Exciting stuff. What do we have here? Wow. All right. Bitcoin, $90,960.25. 21 seconds remaining on the clock. We are hitting a ceiling again. Derek in the lead with his guess of 90,845. 13 seconds remaining. This is the candle that will determine the fate of our winner. We do have a confirmed red dot on the 1 minute time frame. Chance for Dumperoonie in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Blasted through that ceiling as well. Congratulations, Derek, on your victory. Bitcoin daily close price $91,013.65. 91,013.65. 91,013.65. Congratulations, Mr. Derek, on your victory. Ladies and gentlemen, spam the bananas in the chat for our winner. With this guess of $90,845, I can't spell or write or type or anything today. My brain is majority of the way off. Congratulations, my friend, and enjoy your visit to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. All right, let's see. Get back to the 4-hour time frame. Very cool. Derek is our winner. Hit the button. Yay! Wow, very cool. And transition. And let me add you to the winner's Google Doc. Today is January 11th. Supreme Court ruling is on Wednesday. What time is it, though? I actually don't know. That's a good question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, can I get a drum roll, please? The winner of today's daily close contest with a guess of 90,845 even, and an actual Bitcoin daily close price of $91,013.65 on January 11th, 2026. Mr. Derek HQZ's prize is the perfect Coney dog. Congratulations, Derek HQZ, on your victory. Feel free to pick the onions off and feed them to whomever you please, friends and family, your dog, maybe a bird that you met outside, your employee, employers, whatever you do, you are legally obligated to remove it from the premises. Congratulations once again on your victory. Enjoy. The entire thing is yours, by the way, not just the onions. Like, you can, that's just a suggestion. You can eat the chili off, spit the onions back out onto the coney, and then eat it. Some people eat weird. Congratulations. Bitcoin looking a little bouncy here today. $91,017.12. I like that. Derek said, I always lick it before I stick it, Tyler. Tyler said, hey, Derek, you know it helps with shoulder pain. Oh, man, that's such a good line. That's such a good line. That's from Step Brothers. Hell yeah. Cheers. I was going with Dipshit Derek from the new Stranger Things. Dipshit Derek's my favorite. Oh, Mr. Tyler is upset that his phone is broken and that he submitted the wrong guest the first time. Not my problem. Actually, you know what, Mr. Tyler? Just for that. Hang on. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Just for that. I'm going to do... Oh, Mr. Tyler. Oh, no. Oh, no. And that's that. Thank you very much for participating. All right. Let's get down to it. We've got silver. Currently trading up 2.28% on the day. $81.70. Absolutely decimating all of the shorts that opened recently, including my own. My little hedge short. Are we going to get a little double top, triple top situation scenario? 81.66.91 and counting. Are we actually... My ultimate question here is, are we going to set up bearish div? And in order to not set up bearish div, the price would have to go high enough to get that RSI above like 87 or 86.5. And it would be crazy. Tyler said that's so 2025. Should make you feel nostalgic then. Back in the day when you used to be a crypto bro. You were my brother. Has anyone ever seen Tropic Thunder? That's such a good movie. Dude, Tyler is tweaking. I guess it's upping my engagement, so I'm not going to do anything about it. That's the only way that we get views around here, is if Tyler spams his shit 4 or 5 times. All right, silver looks great. I got nothing more to say about it, to be honest. If the price continues exponentially and that RSI gets above like 85, 86, 87, then that bearish div will not be bearish div. And it will have been crazy blow off top exponential growth. I don't really know what else to say. Basically, we just we did a consolidated version of this. And this, we all know, resulted in this. So let's do the measured move. Hang on. First one, I'm going to call 46%. Second one, I'm going to call 65%. Are we going to do an 80% run now? Is that it? Is that what's going on? What does 80% put us at? Oh my God, it's going to be well over $100. 80% run puts us at around, not financial advice, 145. Everyone's going to be calling for 150. We're going to top out at 145. Not financial advice. Let's get this bad boy on the board. 145. JJ's crazy guess for silver. Silver's next top. So let's see what happens. Tyler said, I guess you deserve 4 of them. Derek said, best part of Tropic Thunder was the fake movie trailers. I really liked Les Grossman. I think Les Grossman, and they were going to do a spinoff of him, and they never did it, which upsets me greatly, but Les Grossman was amazing. I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit you're trying to pull here, but Asian Jack is my territory. That's so good, dude. I would love to just, like, be him for Halloween or something one year. I think it'd be awesome. All right, so my call before the end of January 2026 of $100 is still in play. We've got about 20 days, give or take. What do we got? Yeah, no, we have exactly 20 days, actually. So let's see what happens, man. $100 before January, or before the end of January would be insane. People are going to argue that this is, you know, exponential growth blow off top territory. And I would not disagree with them. John said, what did Bitcoin close this week at? Bitcoin this week closed at $91,013.65. So I would not disagree that this is like exponential growth blow off top territory. But if you told me that it couldn't go higher, I would tell you that you're wrong. Because technically speaking, straight up is still an option. And it would only take a handful of days for that to happen. You know, like 3-4 days, this thing gets above $100. It won't take that long. Especially if the hype really builds and there is truly a supply squeeze. I think it's the supply squeeze is the best metric. And you know what's cool about that? Is if that happens, then everyone's going to start to put 2 and 2 together. They're going to be like, this Bitcoin thing is actually very limited supply. So we can force the supply squeeze right now. I'm just saying. John, yep, we read that. Tyler said, wait a sec, I got an idea. What do you got, Tyler? Okay, so silver looks amazing. We'll see if this thing continues or if it ends up topping out. And then gold. I full disclosure, again, I do hold silver, but I also have a short position on silver as a hedge, just in case. Significantly smaller than my holdings, but it'll increase substantially if the price of silver does go down. Gold currently trading at $45.48. And I think it just, or at least it's close to a new all-time high. I think if it gets above 45.50, then that's all-time high territory. 45.49 and 52 cents. Here it goes. It's going to happen right now. This candle right here, high, is 45.50.52. That is our current all-time high. Are we going to get above that? Tyler said, yep, I read that. John said, we feeling bullish on crypto for this week? It depends on the tariff ruling. And I suppose I don't think we're going to be bearish either way. I think if they rule for them, it's going to be a nothing burger. I think if they rule against them, then we might explode to the upside. The uncertainty for a moment, I suppose, could land us in some hot water briefly. Just because people won't know what the United States is going to have to do to like pay that stuff back. That's the only part that I think is really dangerous right now, is the United States having to pay back the tariff money that we've collected if they rule against them. But if they do rule against them, we saw what happened on Liberation Day, and since then, there's been zero liquidity for the crypto market. That Pulse Player said, when is the ruling? It's on Wednesday. It is on Wednesday, December 14th, January 14th, not December. What's going on, Reese? WF Capital said, yo, what's going on, my friend? About to watch gold break records and my computer, evidently. 45.49 and 83 cents. The current all-time high is 45.50 and 52 cents. Struggling to get above that, boy. Cheers, guys. Happy Sunday. Smash the like button. Really helps out the channel. We are just a handful of subscribers away from 1,300. John said Trump ain't paying shit back. He definitely has a plan B for ruling against him. See, I don't know if he would have to pay it back. Damn. Did you hit the character limit on that? That's fucked up. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Tyler. You know, I always think about, I'm like, man, those people that are like, they have like whole menus where they're like, if you pay $10, then I'll put on a dress. I'm like, that's pretty fucked up. But then I sit here and I allow this shit to happen. And I have to say thank you. Man, if I was Andrew Tate, I would be furious right now. My masculinity would be incredibly fragile. Gold, 45, 49, 93, 90. This thing is so close, dude. Just break it. Just do it. Do it. John said the super chat has me disappointed. It happens, man. There's nothing I can do about it. It's funny. 45, 48, 48 cents. I watched one battle after another last night on HBO. Highly recommend. Very weird movie. It is a very weird movie. I just said I was hoping it would magically go through 4 times. That'd be really funny because what if it did that and it charged you 4 times as well? That'd be good. That'd be good. Okay. I really want to sit here and watch this. I really do. Oh, 29. It's like 20 cents away. It's so close, man. Did it do it already? High. Oh, it did. Okay. Well, that's disappointing. Did it do it just now? It did it just now. There you go. 45, 50, 66. If you look right here, actually, this is the high of whatever candle you're on. And this candle right now high is 45, 5, 1, and 48 cents. Tyler said, that's a risk I was willing to take. You gotta respect it. Maybe you might have just fixed your phone now, too. John said, let's watch. What's up, JJ? What's going on, G Immortal? We're just chilling. We're watching gold break records. Beautiful. Beautiful sight to see. Silver is $81.99. That's up 2.61%. I think it went down a little bit, actually. No, it did not. I made that up. Whoops. $82. Wow. 45, 50, and 33 cents. Hell yeah. 45.51. There she is. Is it going to close? Oh, it's overbought. It's overbought on the 4-hour time frame. Woo, 45.52. Should we buy silver? Should we buy some silver just for the hell of it? I love buying tops. What about you guys? All right, I'm going to end the poll. We have 6 votes. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. The poll has been ended. I asked you guys, do you think the Supreme Court is going to rule for or against tariffs? And all 6 of you, 100% of you guys voted for tariffs. They're the best. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. What do we see? Let's see. Start a poll. Do you think silver and gold are near their top? Or is there plenty more room because of supply squeeze? Yes, they're topped. It's over. Both are done. Oh, it's over. No. Supply for both is almost gone. What was gold all-time high? I think that was it. I could be wrong, though. Let's see. What was gold all-time high? What is the all-time high for gold? $4,549.79, 74 cents. That was December 26th, 2025. So we have a new all-time high on gold, which is currently $4,554.37. Very cool. So yeah, that was it. Two Fix said it's still running. Silver, I think it will keep going up. I kind of feel like you're right. Okay, no supply for both is almost gone. Or demand for both. Demand for both is too high. Add question. Only silver will run. Gold is topped. Gold is done. And only gold. My name is Peter Schiff. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the poll in the chat. Do you think silver and gold are near their top, or is there plenty more room because of supply squeeze? Option 1, yes, they're topped, it's over. Option 2, no, demand for both is too high. Option 3, only silver will run, gold is done. And option 4, only gold, my name is Peter Schiff. Gold literally breaking records before our eyes, 45.55. Oh, 45.56, 438. Very cool. I might have to just get food and do the stream while I eat because I'm getting fat. That's not true. I mean, it is true. I've gained quite a bit of weight recently. But I did do a couple miles on the treadmill last night while I watched John Wick, which was pretty cool. You guys ever want a movie to watch on the treadmill? Highly recommend John Wick. Lots of shooting. And you could, like, pretend you're running. That sounds so stupid. I wonder if you could do that. You could sell people, like, this immersive, like, projector screen that goes around their treadmill. And, like, one of the little prompts is, like, you're running from John Wick. And you're like, oh, God. That'd be so stupid. It's like Peloton, but, like, dumb. G Immortal said global uncertainty and metals riding the same direction. That is true, my friend. That is true. 45.59 and 45.60. There it is. Very cool. Congratulations, gold bugs. Peter Schiff is losing his tits right now. He's probably literally like sitting in front of his computer. Is he married? I think he's married. He's probably like, oh, babe, honey. Gold just, I told you. It just did it. 45.60. Oh my God, I knew it. Oh my God, I'm up 10%. I'm up 10% in the last 20 years. I fucking knew it. He's probably losing his mind right now. 45.60 and 94 cents. Hell yeah. Silver doing it too. Up 2.79% on the day, $82.12. I prefer silver. I think it's more visually appealing. And allegedly the conductivity is useful. I don't know what is gold useful for. I know gold is useful for electricity too, but isn't it very soft? And it's expensive. I'd much rather just do silver in my electronics. Tyler said, gotta go, folks. Nice stopping in. Tyler, I will I'll DM you before the end of the night and let you know that your thing's on its way. Derek said, don't poo-poo on Peter's shift spread. Yeah, I do. It is kind of like kicking a baby, isn't it? Tyler said, like the effing stream. Make sure you listen to him. He's unhinged. See ya spamming Tyler. Tyler does... Oh, we got to spam the bananas, guys. Spam the bananas in the chat for Derek, the winner of the daily close contest. Oh my gosh. I'm losing my mojo. What's going on, man? So I like the supply-demand explanation for silver. Makes so much sense because there's, like, it truly is a limited supply. Gold, I'm not so sure. Gold is very much just like a money thing, and it's just sitting in vaults. So you can talk about supply-demand all you want for gold all day. Obviously, it's high because the price is significantly higher than everything else. But what's like the price to supply ratio? Curious. Is that a stupid question? It's probably a stupid question. Anyways, I'm going to leave this for a moment. Pretty cool to see, though. I guess I'm curious if it's going to return to the trajectory. This was more of like a target line. My first target's around 49. And that's just a measured move off of this potential being a flag. Second target actually goes up to 51. And the second target line accidentally became a support almost for the price for a short time. So I'm curious as to whether or not it's going to revert to the mean, which accidentally ended up being my stupid little target line. If not, then I would draw a new one, or I would draw a real one, because that one was just a complete accident, and it would be something like that. So let me just make this thin, and I'll also make this yellow. Wrong yellow. That yellow. There we go. And then we'll see. Is that the wrong yellow? Or do they look different to me? Tweaking out. So yeah, we've got... Oh, let me scoot this over a little bit more. Hold on. Yeah, I would do that. Because then we've got support, and then I'm assuming it's going to become resistance up here. 4,600. That almost perfectly checks out. So we'll see what happens. 2Fix said, I think people see silver as more of a return than gold. It hasn't had a huge move yet, in my opinion. Yeah, silver's, I mean, the evidence is out there. And it sounds very, let me put on my tinfoil hat, which, by the way, aluminum is increasing. So this is kind of like a flex. Aluminum's like hitting all-time highs, so I'm flexing right now. This is my, what is it called? My Gucci aluminum tinfoil hat. Good stuff, good stuff. I think I just wrote a joke. Hold on. I think I just wrote a joke. Just bear with me. Okay. All right, 45.60 on gold. It is overbought, but we've seen this before. So every time gold gets overbought, it really lingers up there for an extended period of time. Like we had a good chunk of December. What is that? Like 4 days overbought. Back here, that was like 1 day. Still, pretty crazy. Some work has gone into that hat, mate. Oh, of course, it's designer. It's, did I say Gucci? I think I meant to say Balenciaga. Okay. The tinfoil hat theory. Yes, with silver being suppressed for like years, decades, and silver shorts, and the big banks and hedge funds and whatever not having enough silver to like cover their shorts, it's kind of crazy. That's a good question for Grok. I'm going to ask Grok, is there any merit? Is there any merit to, I can't spell, the silver supply shortage, I can't spell, man, claims, as well as the banks and shorts and price suppression for decades? Okay, suppression is a word that I never was able to spell, so that one I'm not going to take blame for. Okay, so let's see what Grok says with that. Gold looking good. We've got our ISM manufacturing PMI, which I don't think has changed at all. We got to wait for this data to come out. When does this come out, actually? Let's see. When is the next ISM PMI release? February 2nd. Okay. So January data comes out in February. Okay. Yeah, this one was December 1st. So we're waiting for February 2nd. Are we? When does the December data come out? I don't know. That's a good question. I will say, tinfoil hat, not as comfortable as they make it seem on pop culture. If for whatever reason your head is ever cold, put tinfoil on it. If you're like ever homeless or freezing cold out in the wilderness, post-apocalypse, you can't find clothes anywhere for some reason, you go to the grocery store, there's foil, take that foil and just open it up and put it in your clothes, bro. My head gets so hot in this thing. It is insane. Like, I feel like I'm microwaving my brain right now. And maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I am like genuinely blocking like Wi-Fi and stuff, and my brain is just not used to like not having that electromagnetic frequency. So it's like heating up. It's like, whoa, what is this? I'm really comfortable and like normal right now. This is not normal. I don't know what's happening, but it freaks me out. I'm gonna take that off. Okay. So we got our ISM PMI sitting at 47.9. We need this to get above 50. And we looked in the past. It does really only take one move. Even right here, look. February 2024 to March 2024. We went from 47, what is this? Like 47.8 up to 50.3, which is huge. We're at 47.9 right now. So it literally only takes one great month, one great move. Look at this one. This one back here in 2020. Went from 43 up to 52 in one move. So it's definitely possible for us to go from wherever we're at right now, we're at 47.9. For us to go from 47.9 above 50 and get into expansion just within one read. Right here, we went one move. Right here went one move. One move. I'm looking for the real deep ones, though, the big moves right here. 44 up to 50.3. That's huge, huge move. Oops. This one right here, 47.8 up to 52.5. Right here, 46 up to 54. Oh my gosh, that would be beautiful. So all it takes is that one move, that one read that comes in better than the previous and gets us above 50, and it's game on. It is game on. So we're still waiting for that. We are going to look at this every day and discuss it because I think it's topical. And then we're going to switch back to the 4-hour time frame and go on with our business. You guys let me know if you have any suggestions for content and stuff. I am trying to actually like grow the channel. So you guys want to see something specific? You want to see like a stock segment where we go over stock picks or whatever? You guys want to see like a business segment where we talk about business ideas? I don't care. There's no such thing as a bad suggestion. Also, if you guys just want to chat and hang out, join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. DXY 99.085, seemingly rejecting 99.2. Hopefully, that is the end of it, and it goes down exponentially, but something tells me it's not going to. There's very much like a leaning bias to the upside in this pattern that's kind of throwing me off. And I don't know if it's the RSI consolidating down here and then popping up finally. There's something about it that has me just a little bit tweaked. So I'm hoping if this does go on a run, gets above 100, that it's going to be because everything else is running and getting above, you know, their levels of resistance as well. But historically, I think when the DXY does good, everything else does bad. Because you usually want your stuff to go up against the dollar, not the dollar to go up against your stuff. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, down 5.77%. Currently trading at 157.97. We're looking for a recovery come market open. As of right now, they're not doing too hot. But we do see potential downside target of around 130, 132. So we'll see what happens. NASDAQ is down 0.12% on the day. We'll see what this looks like at market open as well. I would hope to see it continue to the upside. We do have a fractal that we've been tracking. And a fractal, give or take, you know, kind of accounts for a good point of movement. You know, it's not calling for any crazy downside. If you just measure this, and you could technically just cut right through that. So it's all about patience. This is a good illustration of why patience is important. And this fractal is just pulled from previous price action on the NASDAQ. So people might have panic sold here. They might have panic bought here. When in reality, if they would have just held, they would have made money. Because this point is lower than this point, and this is where you ended up. So that is an increase in value. Even though it does this, and then eventually it gets past this point anyways. So it's all about patience. Good illustration of why patience is important in the market. And if you don't have time, can't wait, then you either need to invest elsewhere or don't rely on investing for income. You got multiple choices. You can do whatever the hell you want. My favorite thing to do, because, see, I don't know if I'm like I feel like I have a degenerate gambler mind inside of like the body of a collector. I like to collect things. And collecting coins and stocks and stuff like that is enjoyable to me. So I like to just work more, get more money, and then I'm excited at the end of the day. I come home and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to buy more stupid crypto. Or, ooh, I'm going to add to my stock portfolio. Or, ooh, I'm going to buy some silver off eBay or whatever. I enjoy it. And value can go up forever. And if I'm smart, I'll never sell those things. I will just leverage or hedge against them or use them as collateral, which is what all of the filthy rich people do. In case you guys were not aware, Jeff Bezos is actually in debt. Not entirely, but he has debt. He's got all of his money in stocks, and then he goes to the bank and he says, I need some cash. They're like, okay, we'll lend you this much money against your stocks. And he's like, okay. And then his stocks get bigger, more valuable, and whatever. He spends all this money. He goes back to the bank. He's like, I need another loan. My value of my stocks has gone up. I want to pay off that loan or refinance it, whatever. And then just give me more. And he just keeps doing that for forever. Elon does the same thing. Their liquidity comes from essentially collateral. And that's smart because then they don't have to sell, which makes kind of like removes the supply from circulation in crypto speak. And then those stocks never get sold by the creator, you know, because that's bearish. If Elon Musk sold Tesla, everyone would be like, oh my gosh, Elon sold Tesla. So he doesn't have to sell it, and he still gets access to the liquidity via collateral. Not 100% of it, but the incentive is there no matter what, because people see that he's not selling. So it makes sense. Plus, people like Bezos and Elon, they just believe in themselves and their company, and they know what they're building. One of my favorite quotes is Bezos talking about how the value of the Amazon stock was so little, like it was so small, and he's like, and the company had never been in a better place than that point. And I don't know if he like doubled down or something, but he's like, it just blew my mind. And that's when I realized that the stock price does not measure the value of the company at all. And that's why he beat Elon to the richest man in modern history. And then Elon eventually beat him, but they're both like world-changing businessmen. Okay. We've talked about the NASDAQ. S&P 500 up 0.65. We'll see what the close or the open brings for this as well. Fractal looks really good for continuation to the upside. I don't know what it's going to put us at. Are we going to be like right here? I like my semi-transparent line right here. I like that for a possibility. A little bit of a decoupling, but overall, still riding the mean, if you will. We got AskFractal and AskFractal 2.0. This is AskFractal Junior. And AskFractal Junior doing pretty damn good, I'm not going to lie. Bitcoin dominance, 59.16. We are getting a continuation to the upside after that break and bounce off of 59%. We'll see if we end up stopping. If we do, I suppose I would look for 59.5 for resistance. Right there. Possible resistance. And we'll see what comes of that. Yeah, because this is actually really nice. We got resistance, we got support, break, resistance. So if we're going to try to retest anything, I think 59.5 has a chance of rejecting and pushing Bitcoin dominance down further and giving alts a chance to have some fun for the summer. Bitcoin, though, congratulations, Derek HQZ, on your victory. Once again, enjoy your Coney Dog. Bitcoin, $91,039. Looking good. News segment. A lot of news today. A lot of news. Bitcoin's 2x by 60x rule. I actually really like this, so I decided to share it with you guys. I believe this is a log scale. Let me just read it. Today, Bitcoin is 6,215 days old, or 17 years. When it gets twice as old, 12,430 days, 34 years, price is projected to be $5,414,460, which is pretty damn sick, if you ask me. $2 trillion Wells Fargo Bank just announced to use Bitcoin as collateral for loans. This is massive. Hell yeah. Bravos Research posted a thread. We're probably going to read the whole thing. I like it. Truck sales are collapsing, but stocks are hitting record highs. The last 3 times this happened were in 2000, 2008, and 2020. All of them saw an economic recession and a major market crash. Is this time different? This chart shows the aggregate economy index, which when we mark the exact peaks and troughs, they line up precisely with the official start and end dates of recessions. On average, the stock market peaks several months before an economic recession begins. By the time most people feel economic stress, the stock market is usually already far below its highs. This leads many to think that stocks are perfect forward indicators of the economy. But, that looks like a but. But this misses the most important part of the equation that takes place before any peak in the stock market is put in. First, the economically sensitive sectors roll over exactly 6 months before the stock market peaks. That's exactly what this chart shows. Heavyweight truck sales peaked in December 1999, 6 months before the S&P 500 index peaked. Truck sales peaked again in 2006 before stocks peaked in mid-2007, and once more in July 2019 ahead of the February 2020 market peak. Just in the last few months, heavyweight truck sales have declined while the stock market sits at all-time highs. We've only seen this combination 3 times before, the year 2000, 2008, and 2020. The only difference today is that the magnitude of the gap that we are seeing seems much larger. That is actually true. That seems like a huge gap. So there are 2 potential scenarios here. Scenario A. This time is different, and the historical pattern of economically sensitive indicators leading the stock market and economy is broken. Or scenario B. This time is not different, and both stocks and the economy are right on the brink of a major crash. The economic machine works in a steady and repetitive manner, just with slightly different twists. We've made money on stocks, bonds, crypto, commodities, forex, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can view the free thing, whatever. But I like that info. Oh, do they have more at the end, actually? Hold on. We might have more past the stupid thing. Okay, now in order to know how to position, we need to know where we are in the cycle. Today, it's not just heavy truck sales that are declining. Another highly economically sensitive sector is also flashing red, and that is the U.S. home sales. Historically, home sales have declined, heading into economic recessions time and time again. Today, the housing market has been at one of the weakest levels since the Great Financial Crisis, and that has been the case for the last 2 years now. The combination of weak housing and collapsing truck sales has only occurred during recessions. We've seen this in the 70s, 80s, 89, 2008, and 2020. Heavy trucks are the arteries of the economy. As the economy accelerates, more trucks are needed to transport goods and materials. When growth slows or contracts, demand for trucks drops quickly. So truck sales respond very rapidly to changes in consumer behavior. The same logic applies to home sales. Buying a home is the largest financial decision most consumers ever make. And when home prices fall, it's a clear forward signal that broader consumer spending is likely to weaken. Historically, when weakness in these sensitive sectors becomes severe enough, it eventually hits corporate profits across the economy. That pressure forces businesses to lay off workers, which then further accelerates the impact on consumer spending. The stock market tends to peak here, and the recession tends to be announced. This chart shows a model that we built of heavy truck sales and home sales combined alongside the U.S. corporate profits. You'll also notice this model shifted forward by 6 months. That means historically economically sensitive sectors have led changes in corporate profits by about 6 months. Now the issue is that this relationship appears to have broken down recently. Interesting. This model peaked in late 2021 and has been suggesting that corporate profits should have declined since then, yet corporate profits have stayed at the same or at all-time highs, even after adjusting for inflation. And this is the very reason why stocks have continued to soar. Flat real corporate profits actually means the stock market is going up. That's because real profits are inflation adjusted, while stock prices are not. When inflation is added back on top, equities climb even if real profits are stagnant. That's exactly the environment we've seen in recent years. Now, that does not mean that the real economy is actually thriving. In fact, it suggests the opposite. It means corporate America, particularly large U.S. companies, have been insulated from many of the economic headwinds that we've seen. A mix of factors have supported corporate profits, favorable tax environment, ongoing cost cutting, exposure to growing international markets, surge in capital spending around AI. Together, these have kept profits elevated despite a weak economic backdrop. And the truth is, we do not see any of these turning around anytime soon. The current administration is tax-friendly, and corporations are continuing to reduce costs. International markets like China, South Korea, Vietnam, and Japan are all experiencing growth rebounds. And AI capex boom remains intact. People have been calling us crazy to expect a strong market despite underlying economic weakness, but this disconnection has been our fundamental investment strategy. It has allowed us to participate in some of the biggest trades of the year. And then they sell you your thing again. Thanks for reading this. If you enjoyed, please heart, blah, blah, blah. Very cool. So yeah, this time does seem different. It seems very different. Saeed said, "Hi, sir. How you doing, Saeed?" Whose name is Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff is a guy that likes gold. He's like obsessed with it, and he does hate Bitcoin. Whose name is Peter Schiff. That's a good one. So yeah, Bravos research basically pointing out that these metrics that usually point towards a recession may not be so reliable because everything has changed so dramatically, especially in the last 5-10 years, that you kind of can't rely on something that we used, 10, 15, 20 years ago as a metric to measure that. We've got Bill Gates, Sam Altman, and Jeff Bezos, and Peter Thiel, and others have invested in AI-driven rare earth mining in Greenland with plans to build a Freedom City, according to Forbes. That sounds awful. Freedom City sounds like the most fake name I've ever heard. But that's cool. Good for Greenland. Elon Musk is going all in on crypto. X just announced built-in price tracking for crypto and stocks. Next big step is likely in-app trading and payments. This could be a bigger on-ramp than ETF approvals if done right. Hopefully. They seem to be mildly improving the algorithm. Today I actually had crypto stuff on my feed, which blew my mind because it's been trash for like a week, maybe even more. So it does seem to be getting better. We've got a big boy post from Bull Theory. Russell 2000 index has broken above 2600 for the first time ever. This is the biggest sign yet that liquidity is returning and risk appetite is back. The Russell 2000 tracks small cap US companies. These are the highest risk part of traditional markets. They only lead when money is flowing back into the system and investors are willing to take risk again. Now connect this with what happens on the liquidity side. The Fed is already buying back T-bills. That adds liquidity to the system. Trump has ordered $200 billion in mortgage bond purchases. That injects more liquidity through the housing market. The Treasury is still releasing funds from the TGA. More money is entering financial markets. Trump is talking about tariff dividends, direct cash into households. Trump is talking about tax cuts and tax refunds, more disposable income. All of this liquidity and Russell 2000 moving first is normal. Historically, whenever the Russell 2000 entered a strong uptrend, ETH and altcoins followed in the months after, because money flows from small caps to high risk to even higher risk to crypto. Now look at what happened, or look at what's happening in crypto. Crypto has been in a downward trend for 3 months. The October 10th crash flushed leverage and confidence. Order books are thinner. Most weak hands are already gone. I think they left like 2-3 years ago, for being real. At the same time, Q1 2026 brings the Clarity Act, which will lead to less manipulation, better regulations, and more institutional interest. Even Binance's CZ is talking about a possible super cycle, not just because of hype, but because liquidity, structure, risk appetite are aligning. So when the Russell 2000 breaks 2600, it's not just a normal thing, it's a sign of what's coming next for crypto in 2026. Let's go take a look at this Mr. Russell 2000 is at 2615. Very nice. So we had a lovely little trend line here, and look at that. So we had this trend line, we had a little fake out below it, which that reversal right there resulted in some bullish div, and that bullish div sent us to a new high, which is pretty damn awesome. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This thing looks like it's about to go on a tear. It looks like it's invalidating a bull flag or a bear flag, which I pointed out a bunch of times. When we invalidate a bearish or bullish pattern, any kind of pattern invalidation results in a violent move in the opposite direction. Oh, that is resistance as well. Right there, yep. Ooh. Okay, so getting above like 26.4, 26.5 would be a big deal. Let's see what happens. Bitcoin 90,816 and 82 cents. Congratulations, Derek, once again on your victory. Enjoy your Coney dog. Next, we've got Finance a Lot. Not a big fan of this guy. He posts some nonsense sometimes. He's been incredibly wrong in the past, like way wrong. Awful opinions. But sometimes he posts factual information. Greenland has limitless free thermal energy, and the temperatures make cooling data centers totally free for most of the year. Once you know, you know. Watcher Guru posted, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong says tokenized stocks will be huge. X to launch built-in price tracking for crypto tokens and stocks directly from the timeline. Very cool. Michael Saylor hints at buying more Bitcoin. He said, big orange. I don't know if he's talking about Bitcoin or Donald Trump. Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation, 11:39 a.m., January 11th. Marty Party strikes again. Let's see if we continue to the downside to our spring around January 18th. Time will tell. January 18th. Actually, that would be interesting because that kind of correlates with the stock market or the tariff market ruling. The 18th is exactly 1 week away, next Sunday. So the 14th is when we get the tariff ruling from the Supreme Court. Grok, what stage of the Wall Street cheat sheet are we at? And Grok responded, as of January 11th, 2026, the crypto market, led by Bitcoin around 90,400 to 90,800 after a recent correction from higher levels, appears to be transitioning out of the disbelief stage on the Wall Street cheat sheet and moving into early hope or possibly disbelief/early recovery. I think, I don't remember. What did we say yesterday? You guys voted. I think majority of you guys voted like capitulation, panic, anger. I think that's what it was. But Grok apparently says that we're right here, which would be pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Pretty sick. Kobe SE letter posted. President Trump is all in on midterms. We said this actually. If you guys watched on my channel, I published the bullish case for crypto a couple months ago, actually, right here. 2 months ago, the bullish case for crypto. One of the main driving bullish cases, in my opinion, was midterms. The president and the Republicans are going to want to buy your vote. And there's nothing illegal or shady about that. It's in their best interest to win. In order to win, they have to make themselves look good. What's the best way to make yourself look good to somebody as like a political person? You just give them money. So they're going to cap credit card at 10%. They're going to lower mortgage interest rates. They're going to do all this stuff. They're going to send out stimulus from tariffs. They're going to do everything that they can to buy your vote. 4 days ago, Trump said, if we don't win the midterms, I will get impeached. Since then, Trump has announced $200 billion purchase of mortgage bonds to lower rates, and he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. Amid the AI revolution with $600 billion plus in annual Magnificent 7 CapEx, tons of consumer-oriented policies are coming, all as new Fed chair is effectively required to continue cutting rates to be selected. The trade war will take the back seat as affordability and consumer-supportive policy takes the driver's seat. This includes promised $2,000 per person tariff stimulus checks. Midterm-oriented policy will become the market's biggest driver. Own assets or be left behind. Tell you what, when I get that 2K, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I am probably going to invest a portion and then set the other portion aside for dry powder. I don't know what portions those are going to be, though. Next, President Trump said, I strongly suggest Cuba makes a deal before it's too late. So we're probably going to acquire Cuba soon. Key events this week. This is important. Listen up. Write them down if you have to. Take a screenshot. Markets react to Trump's call for 10% credit card rate cap on Monday. December CPI inflation data comes out on Tuesday. This is going to be a big factor, driving factor for rate cuts this month as well, which are like 95% unlikely based on Kalshi, Polymarket, and I think CME. October new home sales data comes out on Tuesday as well. November PPI inflation data comes out on Wednesday. U.S. Supreme Court tariff ruling is expected on Wednesday as well. January Philly Fed Manufacturing Index comes out on Thursday. Expect a volatile week ahead. WF Capital said, Ape Zebek. Let's go take a look. What is this actual thing? Is it ZBCN? That's what it is. I remember now. My bad. Zebek Network. Okay, X. Okay, we're dancing around 28,717, which is our midpoint. Very nice. Okay. So we got a nice drive up. Now we're in kind of a little wedge situation. So we've seen this before. We've talked about it. So you get your downtrend, and then you break out, which is more of like a choppy sideways situation, and then eventually you get your pop to the upside. So it does look like that might be what's happening right now. I like it at 28. Can we get back above 28.7? Very much looks like we're trying to decide if we're going to continue to the upside or not. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit more. It's sloppy, but it's there. So there's a possible symmetrical triangle here. Are we going to break to the upside or the downside? We are smack dab in the middle between 36 and 20. Reset, I got 30 million tokens. Nice. So yeah, we'll see where we end up. RSI looks good. Potential bounce off 40 coming in. You did get a bearish cross over the moving average yesterday, which is playing out as we speak. Almost oversold on market cipher. Very close, actually. So yeah, potential reversals there for sure. I'd like to see more volume come into play. And we are floating in the middle, though, so we got to make a decision soon if we want to go up or down. Back here we went up. Back here we went down. Down. Right now we're at that inflection point. Up or down is the question. There's room for both. Definitely more room for upside because we're at 40 on that RSI. Bitcoin, 90,745 and 66 cents. Congratulations, Derek, once again on your victory. Enjoy your Cody dog. Okay. Next, we've got China is leading in a historic shift in the global auto industry. Global sales of Chinese vehicles are estimated to have surged 17% year over year in 2025 to a record 27 million units. At the same time, Japanese automakers are estimated to have remained flat at 25 million units. This would make China the world's largest new vehicle seller, ending a leadership run Japan held for over 20 years. Wow. For context, Japan led China by 8 million units in 2022, meaning the gap has been erased in just 3 years. China became the world's leading auto exporter in 2023. By comparison, U.S. automakers have stagnated at 11 million units since 2020, now less than half of Chinese and Japanese sales. China is dominating the auto market. You know what the problem is? The problem is the big three, and I grew up in a Ford family, so I've seen this firsthand. The big three is so tribal and silly and like political with their nonsense. Instead of just building a better vehicle, they wanted to like go after like local municipalities and be like, you can't let this dealership open up in this area because they're selling foreign cars. We're going to shut them out. And they made deals and lots of handshake, weird backdoor, like mafia behavior. And eventually that fizzles out and dies because everyone's soft today. So you can't keep up with that. Ford, GM, all that. It's goofy. Not to mention exporting like most of our jobs to like Mexico and Canada. So the American made car that you're getting is just like manufactured or put together in America. Most of the parts are made elsewhere. I don't know if that's still the case. I remember that being a big problem though. And I remember getting in trouble actually because I thought that I liked Honda. I liked Toyota. And my family was like, you're not allowed to do that. It was weird, dude. It was like overly religious almost. But automobiles. So being a grown adult now, I'm fully aware that Toyota makes the best vehicle money can buy, and Honda makes the best motor money can buy. So it makes sense that Japan and China are the two leaders, while the American automakers are still fighting over what dealerships can and can't open in their local jurisdiction. It's goofy, dude. It's silly. Literally, like, I don't even know if you can have Tesla dealerships in Michigan still. I think that they have to have like little kiosks where people go in and they order the car online. It's so crazy. I remember when that happened, I was like, wow, that's really childish and weird. Like, instead of friendly competition, they're like, no, you're not allowed here. Get that electric car out of here, you weirdo. Like, it's like some weird form of racism. Okay. Is the U.S. economy booming? The most recent Atlanta Fed estimate for real U.S. GDP quarterly growth in Q4 2025 is now plus 5.1%. This is up from the 2.7% forecast seen just last week and far above the 0.9% consensus expectation among economists. If this materializes, it would mark the strongest quarterly growth in 4 years, when the U.S. economy grew 7% in Q4 2021. The surge is likely driven by a narrowing trade deficit. In October, imports fell minus 3.2% month over month to the lowest since January 2024, while exports rose 2.6% month over month to the highest on record, boosting GDP. However, the import drop came from volatile categories like pharmaceuticals and non-monetary gold. When these stabilize, the GDP boost could reverse. GDP data remains highly volatile. Evolution of Atlanta Fed GDP, blah, blah, blah. Atlanta Fed GDP now estimate. Very cool. Number go up. We like number go up. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Really helps out the channel. The U.S. debt crisis worsens. U.S. government interest payments are now up to an annualized record of $1.47 trillion. This comes as Fed interest payments rose 5% year over year to $1.2 trillion, an all-time high. Federal interest costs have doubled over the last 4 years. Meanwhile, interest paid by state and local governments fell to 3% year over year to $270 billion, the lowest since Q1 2023. However, this is $80 billion above the levels seen in 2007 before the 2008 financial crisis. As a result, federal, state, and local interest expenditures as percentage of GDP are up to 4.7%, near the highest in 27 years. Debt crisis is an understatement. That is crazy. Bitfinex whales are bailing on longs, and that's usually when Bitcoin rips. I don't know how true that is. Wouldn't they leave their longs open? That one's weird to me. Bitcoin mining difficulty finally blinked lower in 2026, giving miners a brief breather. Good for them. Ethereum sentiment is back at everyone gave up levels, which is usually when the biggest moves start. Let's go. Bitmine tops 1.08 million staked ETH after adding another 86,400 ETH. Very cool. Samson Mao says Elon Musk could go all in on Bitcoin in 2026, alongside a bold call for Bitcoin to hit 7 figures. Let's go. Tennessee ordered Kalshi, Polymarket, and Crypto.com to shut down sports prediction bets or face fines and refunds. That's crazy. Wrecked. Someone offered to buy this NFT for 1,000 ETH in 2021. The floor price for these NFTs is now 5 to 6 ETH. And then the owner posted, to the guy who offered me over 1,000 ETH for this guy in 2021, I really think you should send me like 50 ETH for saving you 950 ETH. That's so crazy. Next, we've got Sailor posting Big Orange. Sailor hints at another weekly buy. What a freaking legend. X rolling out smart cash tags, letting you track assets with live prices and mentions right in your timeline. Very cool. We went over that. CryptoQuaint's founder says X is punishing real crypto users while bots get to spam freely. I do think that this is being fixed. I don't know how hands-on they are with like changing the algorithm and stuff like that, but it really was a mess last week. Like, it sucked, dude. The algorithm was trash, and now it seems so much better. Like, just today alone, huge night and day difference. So I'm glad that they're actually doing something about it. Seems like we're going to be in a transitionary phase for a little while. Markets. ETH will wipe out 2.95 billion in shorts just by climbing 11%. Very cool. Binance Smart Chain flipped Solana in 24-hour fees. Also very cool. ETH is now 37% away from its all-time high. It's a nice bull market pullback, if you will. The ultimate reset. The crowd is calling for a bear market. The data is calling for a vertical move. Look at the total market cap chart. We are witnessing a textbook momentum reset with a macro uptrend. The data, weekly RSI is at 34.04. This is the exact time, or the exact same level as the 2018 bottom, 36, the 2020 pandemic crash, 33, the 2022 cycle low, 26. The anomaly in previous cycles, RSI 34, meant price collapse. Today, RSI 34 is happening while price is holding the major support trend line. This is not weakness, this is compression. The sellers are exhausted at support. The liquidity structure is identical to the pre-breakout phase of 2017. While you are panic selling, smart money is reloading. Don't be the liquidity. Not financial advice. Smash the like button. And we got this weird chart, but I did like it because it supports our bullish bias. Trending Bitcoin posted the recurring 2013, 2017, and 2021 pattern signals a 300K Bitcoin pump. We've got swoop, and we are in the middle of the swoop at the end, the 2025 guy. We got our bear market and our bull market, and apparently we're right here. Potentially going up to 300K, which would be insane. Time will tell. Bitcoin about to make bullish crossover. The 5-day chart MACD about to cross over into bullish territory. Strong rallies have followed 3 out of the last 3 times. Hell yeah. I love arbitrary timeline charts. Those are my favorite. Paper money eventually returns to its intrinsic value 0. That is Voltaire on Bitcoin in 1729. I love it. This one just spoke to me. You can ignore Bitcoin, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring Bitcoin. Ooh. Poetry. I told my parents to buy as much Bitcoin as they could in 2013. I told them to buy Tesla in 2012. I told them to buy Nvidia in 2017. I told them to buy Palantir in 2020. I'm no longer giving stock tips. Good luck. This one also spoke to me. I literally called my mom when Bitcoin is at 17K. And I said, you told me when to tell you to get into crypto. And now is that time. Because she asked me when Bitcoin was at all-time highs. And I was like, you're going to want to wait. And that was the top. Which I didn't listen to myself. But that was the top. And then it got spicy and went to new all-time highs. And I proceeded to inform her every time we lost a 0 or gained a 0. It was pretty intense. River, I don't know who River is. Invest in Bitcoin with confidence, 0 fee. Okay, that's cool. They posted this really interesting chart. You could wait to buy Bitcoin until there's less than 1 million left to be mined, or you can buy today. So we've got Satoshi holding 4.6% of the supply. Individuals holding 66.7% of the supply. Lost Bitcoin holding 7.7% of the supply. Businesses holding 6.9% of the supply. Funds and ETFs holding 7.1%. Governments holding 2.1%. And the remaining amount available to be mined is 4.9%. Less than 5% of Bitcoin is going to be mined in the next however many decades. That's crazy. Titan of Crypto posted, why alt season is not starting yet. Oh my gosh, Bitcoin is getting incredibly pumpy here. We got $91,670.70. Excuse me a moment. I think we're going to be incredibly volatile this week. I'm excited to see it actually do something on the weekend, though. That is very exciting. Okay. 91,662.87. Congratulations, Derek, once again on your victory. Enjoy your Coney dog. Okay. I'm doing it. Opening a little baby trade. Forgive me. Okay. Titan of Crypto. Why alt season is not starting yet. There is simply no money flowing into the altcoin market right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. Let me keep an eye on this. Yeah, it's at 0.72% for the day and pumping. Very nice. This indicator tracks stablecoin issuance and capital inflows into crypto. When the bars are green and expanding, it means new money is being created and entering the market. That's when Bitcoin and altcoins tend to explode. When the bars turn red, it means liquidity is leaving the market. 0.79 Bitcoin pumping even more, 91,735. John said, give me some TA. We get into 93K tonight. I feel like that's entirely possible. There seems to be a lot of momentum in the upside, but we've also been incredibly volatile, and we have the tariff ruling this week, which is why we got these monster wicks. So this could just turn into a wick, so exercise caution. I'm not going to say yes or no, because we have had like Wick City forming. Gourmet Brand said, what's up, guys? I saw Bitcoin running. Yeah, it's looking good today so far. See what happens though. Like I said, it could be a wick. So we got a bullish cross over the moving average a couple days ago, and it just solidified a nice little support bounce. And our momentum wave just crossed bullish, so upside is definitely potential. Okay. When the bars turn red, it means liquidity is leaving the market. In 2022, this indicator collapsed, and so did Bitcoin and altcoins. Unfortunately, for weeks, even months, the amount of new money being printed and entering crypto has been shrinking. That means less institutional demand, fewer whales allocating capital, and very little real demand for altcoins. This does not mean there will be no alt season. It means that right now, institutions and big players are not interested in allocating capital to altcoins. And without fresh liquidity, rallies struggle to sustain. Retweet to find out what the indicator is, whatever. Yeah. We just got a little baby red candle. So is it going to be a little one-off and then continuation the upside? Who knows? I figured I'd include that. It's a little bearish sentiment there because we usually tend to be around the bullish side, so I like to get both sides of the aisle. Bar chart posted Warren Buffett indicator hits an all-time high of 224%, the most expensive stock market valuation in history. Total value of all publicly traded stocks to GDP ratio. Then we've got U.S. energy ETFs now account for less than 0.5% of total U.S. equity ETF assets, the lowest allocation in at least 20 years. That is also a crazy metric. Tyson Foods forms a golden cross. That one's kind of crazy. I hear a lot of people don't like Tyson Foods. Google searches for dollar debasement soared last quarter to the highest level in history. That's crazy. I don't know if I care for the Google search metrics, honestly. I have not really seen a good correlation with those. Extreme sentiment indicators all scream sell, warns Bank of America, just like in April. Right? Wrecked. Short the S&P 500 since Bank of America. That's crazy. 70% of S&P 500 stocks are now trading above their 50-day moving average, the strongest market breadth since August. Bitcoin pulling back a little bit here. We're getting that wick. 91.5, 91.4, 94, and 86 cents. We are liquidating some bears, that's for sure. This is our first liquidation point right here, this green line. So we definitely liquidated some bears heading into that territory. The odds of a January rate cut have plunged to just 4%. So I said I was going to make a bet on that. And just for the hell of it, I'm probably going to throw like 10 or 15 bucks on it because if they do end up cutting rates, I will make like $250. So I'm just going to throw some couple bucks on it just for fun. We've got Chinese inflation hits highest level in almost 3 years, near 3-year high in December as full year CPI misses target. That's crazy. Consumer prices rose 0.8% from a year earlier, its highest level since February 2023. Breaking. Netflix is trading below its 200-day moving average by 21%, the most in more than 3 years. That's because Stranger Things just ended. That actually, honestly, was probably the perfect short signal. The shorting of Stranger Things finale. The world has 5 years to correct or will enter a new dark age, warns Bill Gates. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen this man say anything like remotely positive or hopeful. He's always been a doomer, and I don't know why you would ever... Did his wife divorce him? Didn't his wife divorce him? Let me see, hold on. She did, yes. In 2021, after 27 years of marriage. She pieced out due to trust issues, which involved substantial financial settlements and significant transfer of assets. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. All the money in the world, and you still have trust issues. That's fucked up. If that wasn't the reason, then I would have assumed it was the constant doomium. I cannot imagine living with someone, let alone being married to them, if there's all the time. They're like, if the world doesn't change tomorrow, We're entering a new dark age. Babe, listen to me. Honey, get the kids. We gotta go. I just finished the 87th Doomsday Bunker. We're gonna go live in there for a month to make sure that it's sustainable. Put your gas mask on, grab your bug out bag, let's go. The cow farts are poking a hole in the ozone layer. We need to cloud seed and buy more farmland. Call Hawaii, tell them to laser all the houses that don't have blue roofs. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. All right, last but not least, we've got Kaleo. The same thing that we looked at the other day from January 5th. The Livermore speculative chart, which is a lovely, beautiful little speculative chart that points to the possibility of Bitcoin heading to $225,000 before the end of the year, which we do like, because that means, say it with me, number go up. And here at JJ's Cryptic Corner, we love number go up. That Pulse Play said, we pumping? Yes, sir, we absolutely are. Bitcoin currently trading at $91,529.72. Hell yeah. Congratulations, Derek HQZ, once again on your victory. Enjoy your perfect coney dog. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner today. That Pulse Play said, Livermore time, ladies. I thought you said laddies. I got excited. I was going to go British, but I decided not to. All right. We got 3 red. We got XRP, Midnight, and Snack all in the red, looking like doo-doo. Everything else looks great except for Monad. Also kind of looks like doo-doo. Silver's up 4.27%. Ooh, $83.30. Let's go to gold really quick. What is going on? What's going on? Oh my gosh. 45.80. Wow. Okay, so gold's current all-time high now, currently now sits at $4,601.38. What is going on? That's a lot of money, dude. You know how much money it takes to pump gold that much? Like that candle, that is a... Okay, that's silver. I was like, what am I looking at? The gold candle right now, 1.6% on gold. That's crazy. There's so much money going into gold. What is happening, man? Fartcoin's up 1.84%, changing the world. Avalanche getting to bounce off that trend line. Solana's up 1.35%, $141. Bitcoin just looks good, man. 529 and 72 cents. The question is, can we get above 94? Because that seems to be where we found resistance right here. The liquidity disappeared for the weekend, and now we are officially back in business. The question, though, is this going to turn into a wick like what we've seen the past 2 weeks? A lot of wicks. Even back here it started. A lot of indecisiveness. Let's take a look at total 3 really quick. 881.38. Let me zoom out. Gourmet Brand said, I know you've mentioned this before, but what is the Wyckoff? So the Wyckoff is a accumulation, like an accumulation theory or a distribution theory. There's Wyckoff distribution. There's a bunch of different like Wyckoff charts. The main one that everyone uses is this one. Open image, a new tab right here. And it's just a method of distribution that was estimated to be a way that the market like plays out for liquidity distribution and continuation. So you get phase A, B, C, D, and E. It's a trading theory. I don't know what P, S, C, S, C, A, R, S, T. I don't know what any of those mean. If I had to describe this in like layman's terms, I would just say it's a W with a lower low and consolidation within that lower low, and then an explosion to the upside. But this lovely little chart is just the way that I think the guy's name was Wyckoff actually. But this is his like descriptor for it. I believe he has a book as well. How can I learn about Wyckoff? Wyckoff trading. Okay, there's online academy stuff. Let me see if there's books. Book Wyckoff. Richard D. Wyckoff Method of Trading Stocks. Let me see. So there is a book. Let me go back to Bitcoin really quick. Okay, Bitcoin's doing a whole lot of nothing. Okay. All right. Yeah, look up Richard D. Wyckoff Method of Trading Stocks. I'll actually put it in the I'll put it in the chat if you actually want to look it up. There you go. So yeah, you can look it up. You can buy the book, read about it. Cool stuff. A lot of people talk about him when it comes to trading and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are very prominent in stock trading that have been kind of applied across the board. I personally have not looked into any of that stuff, but I would actually like to get some books and read some of the stuff because there's probably good stuff in there, like legit. My biggest lessons so far in the few years that I've been in the market have been all like psychological. Gourmet Brand said, so do you think we're in phase 1 or phase 2? A or B? I think I like Marty Party's iteration of it. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Right here. So Marty Party thinks we're at the end of phase B, transitioning in phase C. I don't mind this one. Let me actually see. Let me put this on the Bitcoin chart and see if I can get it to line up with something. Because I would actually make the argument that it's a bigger scale thing. And maybe I'm way wrong. Can I make this semi-transparent, that thing? I can. Oh, cool. Okay, good. Oops. Hang on, I'm messing stuff up. So if we are going to be bearish for longer, I don't mind this. Which, even back here, can I shrink this? Hold on, let me shrink this to really fit that too. Because that looks like it was very Wyckoff as well. Nope. Hang on. Yeah, check that out. Let me make this less transparent now. Oh, I can't zoom in. So yeah, that looks very, very similar to what happened there. So if I bring it over here, I don't know, it just looks like a flat bottom to me, you know? I'm not super impressed by it, but I would say we are in the middle of phase B rather than the beginning of phase C. If we're going off of Wyckoff. Yeah, right there. Right there. That's what I like. Which unfortunately would put us around 80K in the end of the month, at the end of the month, and then we finally spring up going into February, March. So that'd be my guesstimate. And that's on the daily as well. But I much prefer this fractal actually. Let me go to the weekly. Yeah, look at that. Ain't she a beauty? So it's just the same thing that happened last time, just a lot more consolidated. Like last time we had some volatility, there was like some spikes, a little W even. And this time around we just dumped, recovered a little bit, and then flatlined, and now we're slowly creeping back up. And that is, in my opinion, based on my experience, just a time capitulation. They are trying to get people bored so that everyone leaves. They think there's no liquidity in the market, there's nothing happening, the price is, whatever. And I know that saying they is like a cop out for being like, oh, there's some, great manipulator out there, changing the price and making it so that no one can win because we're all victims. Which, by the way, if you think that way, that is a very, very big sign that you may be a narcissist. The world is not out to get you. The world doesn't care that you exist. You can make the world care that you exist, but then they'll probably make you a little more narcissistic. You gotta be self-aware first. But maybe crypto is being manipulated. And maybe it's not as malicious as we think it is. Maybe it's just being manipulated the way that all markets are manipulated. And in order to win, we just have to be patient. Or maybe it's just playing out this way because that's the way that human psychology works, and we try to justify it with some, grandiose, evil plan. No matter what, I stand by my statement. Teacher said, yo, hello all, just arrived. Anything changed since yesterday? Number go up a little bit. That was exciting. Look at Bitcoin, got a little green candle. We got some volume coming in. We're breaking above that upper trendline resistance based on the liquidity, which I should update actually because we just liquidated some bears. Yep. 8 right into that bad boy. Now we got 91,791. And also teach you gold hit a new all-time high. And silver hit a new all-time high. Look at that. No, it didn't. I lied. Oh, no, it did. It did. Silver hit $84 and 3/1000ths of a penny, which is awesome. And gold also new all-time high. Look at that bad boy. 45.78 and 93 cents at the moment. Current all-time high now 46.01 and 38 cents. Never in the history of anything ever has gold and silver been this high. Fartcoin is up 2.15% as well. I know that one's your favorite, Tishu. And Bitcoin, like I said, got a little bit green. It's getting a little bit spicy. I think we went through we talked about Wyckoff. What else were we getting into? I was talking, oh yeah, total 3. I want to look at this. It's starting to get a little bit. See, look at the volume on this. Look at the volume just fall gradually over time. Interesting. So we'll see what happens. Do I end the poll? Let's end the poll. We've got 13 votes. I asked you guys, do you think the silver and gold are near their top, or is there plenty more room because of the supply squeeze? You guys answered. 46% of you said no, demand for both is too high. 23% of you said only silver will run, gold is done. 23% of you said only gold, my name is Peter Schiff, disgusting. And 8% of you said yes, they're topped, it's over. So that is the opinion of the people. Let's do one more. Do you think Bitcoin will get back above 100K within the next 6 months? Yes or no? Do you think Bitcoin will get back above $100,000 within the next 6 months? Yes or no? Please divert your attention to the poll in the chat. Appreciate you guys for participating. Happy Sunday. Bitcoin's weekly close, by the way, $91,013.65. Congratulations, Derek, once again on your victory. Total 3, chipping away at 883.6. We are not quite retested our trend line breakout around 860, 865. So I'm unsure if that's going to actually occur. We did get a bullish cross over the moving average in the RSI yesterday. Retested confirmed support twice, and we are now heading to the upside. So upside potential is there. We do have a red dotted momentum wave, unconfirmed green dot at market cipher, and we are about to flip bullish. Very cool. Volume could be better. Total 2. Teacher said, I sure like making farts, not coins though. I mean, if I could make coins. I actually just checked my quarter collection. I have quite a few new ones that I was excited about. Okay, total 2. We are at 1.26 trillion. So we've decoupled from the fractal, which makes me a little bit sad. I can cheat and scoot, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait and see. If we see exponential growth from here, then I will cheat and scoot, and I will just use some kind of excuse about the timeline being off because of the Mayan calendar or something, or a leap year, or something like that. So total 2 looks good. We are smack dab in the middle between 1.17 and 1.32, which we've been trading in for a considerable period of time, since November actually. And this does go into my theory of the dump, choppy breakout, and then eventually exponential pump to the upside, which we have seen play out multiple times. Here's a good one. No, I lied. That's not a good one. Got like a dump, I suppose, choppy breakout, exponential growth. Dump, choppy breakout, exponential growth. Actually, that exponential growth kind of goes all the way up there. And then dump, choppy breakout, exponential growth. I don't know how long the choppy breakouts last every time, or if there's a science or rhyme or reason to that. This is total 2 though, so it's not that big of a deal. Total crypto market cap is where we're really concerned about this, because that's where it makes the most sense. We have a concept here based on the first scenario where this played out. So we pointed out we had a 9-month bleed here, 5-month bleed here, 2-month bleed here. The 2-month is where we're at. We're breaking out of that 2-month bleed. So with each one, the rise was different as well. We had a very short rise. We'll call that 2 months. And then we had a 5-month. This is the medium right here. This is the average turnout. The average pump and dump is 5 months in, 5 months out. That's what we're just going to label it as. I'm not saying that that's the case for everything. We're just calling this is like the mom in Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. It's the medium one. And then we have the exponential growth here right now. I'm assuming about 9 months, and then a 2-month bleed. So we got 2 months, 2 months, 5 months, 5 months, 9 months, 9 months. Do we see the pattern? What is that going to result in next? I have no idea. Hopefully like a 10 to 12 month growth period where we see 2.5 trillion go up to 5 trillion and the total crypto market cap doubles over the course of a year. I think that would be awesome. The shorter term time frame, I'm not a patient person pattern puts us at around 4.5 trillion in April of this year, which would be awesome because that is my birthday. And every year, usually my birthday sucks on the charts specifically. The middle option that I think is most likely, personally, kind of just extends our period by a few more months without going over like the full 9-month. It might be longer, actually. This might be the 12-month. We're going from December 25 to December 26. Yeah, so that is the 12-month growth period. Looking at a 5 trillion valuation around December of 2026. And then the really crazy one puts us into 2027 with a valuation of 5.6 trillion around September of 2027. So that would be about a 20-month rise. 21 months. Teacher said, what do you think about my Elon conspiracy theory? Would you imagine Elon, I told you all, wouldn't need any money? That would be crazy, honestly. Like, he's already kind of infiltrated politics and stuff too. And I guess what's really weird about it is that it doesn't even seem that tinfoil, these two, because the guy's already done so freaking much. Like, I have to be reminded that he like created PayPal, and he has all of these other companies that do like literally everything. And it's not like these companies are doing stuff and then he just shows up and he's like, I'm so proud of the team for what they've done. Like he's somehow like everywhere at once doing all of these things with them, it seems. And it's just, I don't know, it melts my brain. And you'd think he's doing it for money, but I think he would have been done by now if he was just doing it for money. I don't know. It's weird. I would not be surprised if we find out that he's like an alien from another, or maybe he's from the future. I don't know. It's just weird, man. It messes up my brain. Bitcoin at $91,402.59. We are chilling. The heated up Bitcoin price action is kind of heating up alts. We asked Gronk earlier if there's any merit to the supply shortage claims, as well as bank shorts and price suppression for silver. Gronk said yes, there is substantial merit to the claims of silver supply deficit in recent years, supported by authoritative data from the Silver Institute. The global silver market has recorded deficits, demand exceeding total supply for mining and recycling for 5 consecutive years through 2025, with forecasts indicating persistence into 2026. Updating 2025 projections show a deficit of around 95 to 149 million ounces, depending on the timing of the estimate. This results from strong industrial demand, especially in green technologies like solar, photovoltaics, electric vehicles, and electronics, outpacing modest supply growth. Cumulative deficits from 2021 to 2025 total nearly 820 million ounces, drawing down above ground stocks. These deficits are not a shortage in the sense of immediate physical unavailability for most buyers, but they represent a structural imbalance that has contributed to inventory drawdowns in thin markets and high volatility. As of January 11, 2026, the spot price of silver is approximately $80 to $81 per ounce, following a 140 to 260% rally in 2025 that pushed it to record highs. Historical price suppression and bank involvement. Claims of price suppression through banks' large short positions in futures markets, particularly on COMEX, have significant historical merit. From roughly 2008 to 2016, major banks, including JP Morgan, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, and others, engaged in manipulative practices like spoofing, placing fake orders to influence prices. This led to admitted wrongdoing, over $1.3 billion in fines across 8 banks, and prison sentences for some JP Morgan traders. Regulators, including the CFTC and Department of Justice, confirmed these actions distorted markets. Bullion banks historically held persistent net short positions as dealers, hedgers, which some analysts argued helped cap prices despite physical deficits. This fueled long-standing allegations of multi-decade suppression dating back to the 90s, 2000s. That's crazy. Current market dynamics. However, the evidence for ongoing systemic price suppression in 2025 to 2026 is weak. The massive price breakout in 2025, with silver more than doubling or tripling, coincide with collapsing short positions, COMEX inventory drawdowns, and short covering / squeezes. This suggests that any prior manipulative influence has largely ended post-enforcement, allowing fundamentals, persistent deficits, and surging industrial investment demand to drive prices higher. Some fringe claims of renewed manipulation persist even at these high levels, or even at these highs, but they lack strong substantiation from regulators or mainstream data, and the price action contradicts effective suppression. In summary, supply deficits, well documented and ongoing, contributing to higher prices. Historical bank manipulation and suppression, proven for earlier periods. Decades-long suppression continuing today, less convincing given the recent explosive rally. The market appears to be transitioning to reflect tight physical fundamentals more freely. Thank you, Rock. Bitcoin pretty much losing that entire pump, turning it into a wick, which is exactly what we thought it was going to do. And we're currently sitting at 91, 138, 147, and 77 cents. Now, it might just eat that wick and go up from here. I have no idea. But I like the volume, and I like the volatility, because both of those can be traded. Portfolio update. The 1K to 10K Grok portfolio is down 471, 47.1%. The best performer is Solana, only down 16. Worst performer, Aptos, down 71. Then we've got the meme coin portfolio down 562, 56.2%. Best performer is Pepe, only down 78. Worst performer is GigaChad, down 164. Then we've got the narrative portfolio, my favorite, and the best performer at the moment, down 175, or 35%. Best performer is Tau, which is only down 2. Worst performer is VeChain, which is down 58. This portfolio is made up of 1 meme coin, 1 artificial intelligence coin, 1 decentralized physical infrastructure coin, 1 real-world asset coin, and 1 gaming coin, and it is killing it. And last but not least, we've got the perfect entry portfolio, currently down 394, 39.4%. Best performers Chainlink down 13, worst performers Avalanche down 60. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin 91, 180 and 37 cents. Silver, 83.54. Dang, it's up 4.52% on the day. And gold, continuing its record-breaking rally, 45.78 and 94 cents. Up 1.55% on the day for gold. It's a crazy, crazy metric. Guys, congratulations to Derek for winning the daily close contest. This is where I make my exit. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Gourmet Brand said Brander had a nice day. Let's go take a look really quick. Brander had a nice day. Ooh, Brander did have a nice day. Got a nice little volume spike too, up 13%. Hell yeah. Let's get above 291, and then we can start talking about some bullish price action. We also have this gigantic trading zone that I got to extend over here now, finally. Finally. Back into the fray. Honestly, might be a good buy, not financial advice. I'm just saying. Look at that volume spike. Big fat cloud. I do like it. Anyways, guys. Here we go. Hopefully I got to get on. I would love to do like a God candle stream on a late Sunday night. I think that'd be awesome. So I'm going to leave and I'm going to manifest. You guys also manifest. As always, when Bitcoin starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Share the stream with your like-minded crypto friends. Happy Sunday and good night.